Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. New sleeper option emerging for Steelers QB Russell Wilson, report. The quarterback situation this offseason with the Pittsburgh Steelers is complicated. But it's potentially about to get muddier with veteran quarterback Russell Wilson. NFL insider Fowler reported on ESPN SportsCenter on February 16 that while Wilson's preference is still to be back with the Steelers in 2025, the New York Giants are emerging as a potential suitor. "I'm told he still loves Pittsburgh, had a great experience there, that would be his priority if he's ranking teams to potentially sign with," Fowler said, via Bleacher Report's Scott Polacek. Now, the wild card there will be Justin Fields and see if the Steelers prefer to bring back the younger option. But Wilson himself should have options too. Talking to some ex-Seattle aides, they said that Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson have pieced it up, so maybe Las Vegas could shake out for him. "I'm also told the Giants are considered a sleeper option for Russell Wilson." This echoed what Fowler said on SportsCenter about the Giants and Wilson days earlier. "The New York Giants, I'm hearing, are a potential sneaky team for Russell Wilson," said Fowler on February 14. Wilson will be an unrestricted free agent in March. Steelers backup signal caller Justin Fields will reach free agency next month as well. If the Steelers are interested in Wilson or Fields, they are likely to bring back only one of them. Fowler painted a more favorable free agency market for Wilson than other NFL insiders have previously. CBS Sports' Aditi Kinkhabwala argued while appearing on 93.7 The Fans PM show with Andrew Filipponi and Chris Mueller on February 5 that Wilson has pushed narratives in the media regarding offensive coordinator Arthur Smith to help spice up his market. Kinkhabwala indicated Wilson felt the need to do that because he hasn't been generating much free agency buzz early this offseason. Fox Sports' Jay Glazer didn't share a high opinion of Wilson's market either during a guest appearance on NBC Sports Fantasy Football Happy Hour on February 5. But interestingly, Glazer projected Wilson to land with a new team next season. Glazer also said it wouldn't be the Las Vegas Raiders but said nothing of the Giants. New York is searching for a new starting signal caller this offseason. The team parted with Daniel Jones during the 2024 regular season. The Giants hold the number 3 overall pick, but the 2025 draft class isn't expected to be deep at quarterback. Even if the Giants draft a signal caller, it could make sense for them to add a veteran as a starting placeholder until that rookie is ready. Steelers 3-round 2025 NFL Draft according to PFF Mock Draft Simulator. The Pittsburgh Steelers hold the 21st overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, and this year is shaping up to be a potentially definitive year that could determine the team's success for the next half-decade or longer. We recently ran an NFL Draft simulation through the Pro Football Focus Simulator, and the Steelers' picks for the first 3 rounds are in. Let's take a closer look. PPF listed quarterback, wide receiver, and defensive back as the Steelers' greatest needs. The Steelers must address their quarterback position. The team thought they could fill the void at quarterback since the Ben Roethlisberger era by signing Russell Wilson, a former star with a successful track record, and pairing him with a former collegiate star with untapped potential in Justin Fields. Unfortunately for the Steelers, neither of these plans worked out as well as the team had hoped for, and both players may be moving on this winter. However, even if one or both players stay, the team still needs an infusion of talent and upside at the game's most important position. The Steelers lack talent at the wide receiver position outside of George Pickens, but the supremely talented young star could be wearing out his welcome in the Steel City, and he might not be wearing the black and gold for much longer. The third most important position could be debated, but the team's defensive backfield could use some work. Overall, PFF's analysis of the team's needs appears reasonable, especially the team's issues at quarterback and receiver. Let's start with the positives. Davante is an extremely talented player. He's arguably the best running back in this year's draft class, and the gap between Davante and the other prospects might be wider than most people think. In fact, it might be more of a gulf than a gap. Davante is a true three-down back who can do anything that his team asks of him, and he would be an extremely versatile asset to have. Davante is equally capable of rushing between the tackles for consistent 3 to 5 yard gains, beating the defense to the corner for an explosive gain, or breaking a tackle to gain extra yardage. He's also a more than adequate weapon in the passing game, both an extra blocker and another weapon for his quarterback to target. With all of this being said, why isn't it a slam dunk A+ grade for any team to draft Davante? The answer lies in the overall value that he can be for his team relative to other options and the other players that are available. My issue with this pick really has nothing to do with Davante at all as a player. It has more to do with the value of the running back position in general, and the reality that there are more options in this year's draft class who will likely be available in the second round or perhaps even later. Ohio State has two excellent backs who are draft eligible in Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. It's possible that one or both of these players could possibly sneak into the first round or the early second round, especially Judkins. However, both of these players could easily find themselves going in the middle of the second round, and Henderson could possibly even slip to the third round or later. In this simulation, both players went early in the third round. Both of these players would represent excellent value at that draft slot, and they each bring to the table nearly as much as Davante does. This means that, while Davante is undoubtedly a great player and an exciting talent who can make magic happen anytime he touches the ball, he's not the best value for the Steelers to use a premium draft pick on. Besides Henderson and Judkins, the running back position in this year's draft class is fairly deep with several other players projected to go in the second, third, or fourth rounds. As great of a player as Davante is, he just might not be worth a top 25 draft pick. Door opens for Pittsburgh Steelers to pursue $140 million wide receiver. New York Jets wide receiver Davante Adams appears likely to leave the organization after the Jets decided to move on from quarterback Aaron Rodgers. According to Jets insider Rich Cimini, Adams will likely be cut in the coming days, which will open the door for teams to sign him as they wish. Adams and Lazard are likely headed for the exit. They probably will be released in the coming weeks, Cimini wrote. Adams prefers to be cut, Cimini says, and the Jets will honor that request. He has no guaranteed money left on his deal, so a restructuring would give the team flexibility to trade him, but that does not appear in the cards. If the Steelers did pursue Adams, who is 32, they would still be getting a top wide receiver. He eclipsed 1,000 yards in 2024 in just 14 games, and proved that he could still hang as a wide receiver one in the NFL. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network hinted that Adams wanted to play on the West Coast, however. That would throw a wrench in the Steelers' pursuit plans, but if they can sell him on the vision, they might have a chance to go out and land a superstar player. And you fan? What do you think of Davante Adams' situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.